Hi, this is my contest entry for Jeff Whitcher's Vinyl Destination. So he has asked us to talk about our 5 albums that have shaped our musical tastes, I guess we can say it that way. For those of you who don't know Jeff, I definitely recommend checking out his channel. I'm going to link it in my video description. Now, Jeff is a vinyl guy, and he does a lot of videos on vinyl topics. He goes to record stores and he records, he goes like crate digging, and he shows what he's looking at and he shows what he's buying. And he also does these like vinyl topics, like cleaning records and those types of things. And he's very like entertaining. He's funny, and I'm personally not really a vinyl guy, but I watch his videos all the time because I really enjoy him. They are very informative and entertaining. So I do recommend giving Jeff a sub if you haven't already. So I'm going to talk about 5 albums that have shaped my musical tastes. Now, a lot of these albums, I have moved around so many times. So I'm going to be talking about a lot of albums I've had starting as a child and then going into like my young adult years. These albums I do not own anymore. As I said, I've moved around a lot and I do not have them anymore. But I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to start my musical journey when I was, let's say, 7, 8, or 9 years old. Musical influence comes mostly from my older brother. His name is Michael. He used to buy a lot of records. We had a record player in our basement, and we used to hang out down there with our friends, and we would listen to records all the time. The one band that stood out for me would be The Doors. Now, I can probably talk about any of those original, I think there were 6 albums with Jim Morrison. But the one I want to mention is Waiting for the Sun. These had probably the songs that I like the most. The album starts out with Hello, I Love You. It goes into Love Street. And probably one of my favorite songs ever is Not to Touch the Earth. I listened to this song when I was a kid, and it was just these strange rhythms. And, at the end of the song, it says, I am the Lizard King and all that. It kind of like scared me, but I listened to it over and over again. It was very entertaining for me. Another one, maybe guess when I got a little older, maybe around 10-ish, 9 or 10, was John Lennon's Double Fantasy. Now that was an album that stuck with me a lot. I grew up on the Beatles, mostly the 2 greatest hits albums. It was a red one and a blue one. I listened to those ones a lot, but it was John Lennon's Double Fantasy was the album that I used to always just go down there. Even if I was by myself, I'd put on that album and I'd listen to the hits like Woman and Starting Over. And I would always just put the record on and just repeat it. And a lot of times I was with myself, or I might have been with friends, and that was an album that stuck out with me. Those were some of my favorite songs back then. Okay, I'm going to fast forward a little. Now I'm a teenager. I'm around 16, 17. I'm going to think 87, so I was 16. I got the album Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Now this was my gateway to heavy metal. Now I wouldn't consider this a heavy metal album. It's hard rock. There's a leaning towards metal, but this is a solid album throughout. One of those albums that I don't get sick of. If there's any song that I did get tired of, would probably be Paradise City. But Sweet Child of Mine, I've probably heard it over thousands of times and I never get bored of that song. I love Sweet Child of Mine. It was another album that kind of influenced me to start learning how to play the guitar. So a little later on, I started learning how to play the guitar. I bought the Guns N' Roses book on how to learn and things like that. But slightly after that, I discovered Metallica's Master of Puppets. And that was the album that definitely sealed the deal for me. I was, a metalhead for life from that album. That's just another completely solid album, start to finish. And that was the album that sealed the deal for me. So I got into Metallica and I got into Megadeth. I started listening to heavier stuff from there on. I was just a straightforward metalhead for the next couple of years. Now come 1991, and I got into some other bands. So bands like Nirvana's Nevermind or Alice in Chains' Facelift. Those were the ones that kind of made me kind of just, or want to look for different styles of music. You know, I kind of like wanted to like put metal to the side and, you know, just explore my other options. So during that time, I was really into the Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Smashing Pumpkins, those types of bands. And I was really into that, like alternative music for a long time. And I probably just didn't really get back into metal for years after that. And that's it. I don't want this video to be too long. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to Jeff Whitcher's Vinyl Destination if you haven't already. Link in the description, and I will see you in the next one.